Hi, welcome to this video tutorial for the new TVDSB school websites. In this video, we're going to be talking about the calendar. On your home page, the calendar appears underneath these icons. It pulls the next 3 dates that are coming up from the school website calendar. Users can click the View All Events button to be taken to a view of the entire calendar, which they can go to different months on. They can choose which categories are actually visible on the calendar, and they can subscribe to the calendar by clicking this button in the top right-hand corner. So to access the calendar, we'll actually go to the workbench, and to do that, we need to log into the website. So I'll hit Control twice, and I'll enter my details. And then I'll click the home icon in the top left-hand corner. So much like the News Manager, the calendar is actually accessed through the More Plus menu. And we're greeted by a nice welcome message, which allows us, which shows us that we have access to the calendar. To add an event, we'll click Submit an Event, and we'll begin to fill out some of the details. So if I don't want my event to have an end time, I can click this box here, which removes the end time from my event. And I can add multiple dates of the same event. So this might be something like a school council meeting, where I can set the next date. So let's say it's on October 25th. Do the same time. As you can see, the top half here of this grid is the AM hours, and the bottom half is the PM hours. So I'll choose 5 o'clock PM, and my end time again will be 6 o'clock PM. And then if I want to add another date, I'll click the plus button over here. And I can add a date in November. Now, if this event is to recur multiple times throughout the year, I can actually click this box, the recurrence box, and have that event occur daily or weekly. So if it's a weekly event, obviously we'd choose that. Repeat how many weeks? Let's say 6 weeks every Monday, and continue until go into December. Oops. And then we would generate dates. So let's simplify this a little bit. Let's get rid of our multiple dates and times. We're just going to put one event into the calendar today. And that event will be the 28th of September at 5 o'clock. So we need to set our calendar, but that's already chosen for us as our school calendar. If we had other events in our calendar already, we could add them as related events by searching them here and then choosing them. I don't happen to have any readily available. Under the event title, we'll give our event a name. And then a very important piece is to select a category. If your calendar is not loading the event that you just created, it's probably because you didn't select a category. So this really should be a required field, but it isn't. So a lot of people do not set this, but ensure that you have selected a category before proceeding. The location field is another tricky one. You want to make sure that this is filled out with an address because it searches a Google map for the location. So if your event is taking place in the gym or in the library, you might want to add those details in the event details and put your school address in the location. The location is not a required field, so you don't have to use it, but rest assured that it does provide a Google map of the address that you put in here. So in this field here, the event details, we can start to add, location, library, right? And we can put other information here. As we scroll down, we then are able to provide some contact information. So perhaps your school is putting on a show or a play. You might want to put the person who's responsible for the play, put their details in here so that people can contact them immediately with any questions or bookings. And we have the ability to add an attachment to this calendar item. So we'll click our Browse button and we'll navigate our computer to find the file we want to upload. And then I'll also give the attachment some information. So I'm going to set a friendly display name as my document, and then especially if it's an image, I'll set alt text. Again, if it's an image, you'll need to describe what is actually happening in the image. And then I'll click upload. Okay, so I'm given notification that my document was uploaded okay. And then the last thing I have to select before I submit my event is email digest options. So when someone subscribes to your calendar, they will receive a weekly email with upcoming events. When we're submitting a new event for the calendar, we can decide whether we deliver it regularly, deliver it immediately after we submit, or we won't deliver it at all. So because this is just a test event, I'm not going to include it in the weekly scheduled digest or deliver it immediately. I'll then click preview, at which point my event is all summed up here. And then I'll click submit. Now my event has been submitted, so it should appear on the home page. Well, on the calendar anyway. Let's go look. Here it is. And then if I view my calendar, here it is here. So this is what it'll look like when someone actually clicks on the event. You can see the address and the map that is brought up through my location field. Here's the document that I uploaded, and then here's the contact information that I provided. If I want to edit a calendar entry, I'm back in my workbench now. I'll actually click on My Events. And if I have a whole bunch of events in my calendar, I can search through them using this search field up here. But as it stands, I only really have this one event, and I can go in here and I can update the event, or I can copy that event so it's an exact copy of what I just created. If I want to delete that event, I can cancel it by clicking this trash can, at which point I'm notified that I'm about to cancel the event, and I confirm that. And that's the calendar in a nutshell.